Coming up, I'm going to tell you how to quit with zero stress, and then we'll reveal the jobs with the lowest unemployment rates. And then the decline in college enrollment, we'll break it down, and I coach you up. Let's go. Welcome to the Ken Coleman Show, where I coach you up to have the competitive edge to make more money and experience more meaning in your work. You spend more time at work than you do in anything else in your life, unless you're an absolute derelict, and you people aren't. All right? And so I want you to win in your work and in your life. So how to quit with zero stress. Why am I teaching about this today? Because I have an unofficial catalog in my head of all of the 5,000 plus phone calls and counting that we've done on this show. And without question, in the top 3 categories of subjects of calls, this one is in the top 3. Hey, Ken, I'm going to leave my job. I've decided to leave my job, but I feel so much guilt. I'm stressed out about how to do it. I need help, advice, how to do it the right way, yada, yada, yada. And this is a sentiment that is very consistent. And it speaks to the quality of people that listen and watch this show. They're good people. That's why they ask this question. You want to do it the right way. And so this is something that I felt like, you know what, Alex, let's break this down. So here's how to quit with zero stress. All right. First is to remind yourself why you want to leave. This is where we start. We go, okay, I got all these emotions, and we'll get to that in a second, that are kind of stirring up inside of me. And so I've got to get control, if you will, or process the emotions. And the best way to process the emotions is to first say, or remind yourself why you're leaving. Okay? And so let's start there. All right? And let's remind ourselves why. Could be a good reason, could be a negative reason at where you are. And then let's look at why you're feeling the negative emotions. Is it because you haven't done enough research on the next role that you're stepping into, and so you've got some doubt, and the doubt is now whispering in your ear, this may not be a smart decision to leave. And so now you're questioning. So you call and you go, I don't know if I should leave. I don't know how to leave. I'm worried about leaving. When you're not worried about leaving, what you're worried about is where you're going to. So we've already said this is the reason why I initially kicked the tires on this of leaving. That's up high. It's like at the top of the whiteboard. This is why I want to leave. Now we go, okay, based on what I'm looking into leaving to, or where I've already decided to leave to, but I haven't officially severed ties with my current company, what fear and doubt do I have about this new step? Do I not know enough? Do I need to get more knowledge so that I've got confirmation and thus confidence? Second thing is that you're a good person and you've lived your life in a way that people don't say a lot of bad things about you. Yeah, this is good. But you realize this might upset some people. And if me leaving upsets them, they may think something bad about me. Even worse, they may say something bad about me. I can't bear the thought that somebody thinks or says something bad about me, Ken. What do I do? I know I want to quit, but if I quit, they might say something bad about me. This is very normal. It's because you're a good person. You've lived a life where you've not had a lot of negative things said. Or maybe you're a good person and you've had a lot of criticism come your way in your life, and so you're extra sensitive. It's a real raw nerve. This is real. It's not made up in your head. I get it. And so the idea of somebody thinking and saying something negative about you gives you ulcers. That's a reason for not being sure, for being stressed about quitting. The third reason that you might be stressed is that you're a person who just does not do well with any type of confrontation, any type of tense moment, difficult conversation, let's call it that. You just wilt. You just wilt. Okay. And by the way, there is a seed of that, this idea that I really don't like difficult conversations. That seed is in everybody. Leaders and people who learn how to power through that because they have to have difficult conversations as the nature of what they do. Hello, parents. How many parents out there, you're in the days of parenting teens and maybe middle schoolers, and you got to have some difficult conversations. The conversations aren't as difficult when they're younger, right? It's pretty simple. Hey, eat your peas. Open up your mouth. Eat your peas, Nathan's in that stage. But there's coming a day, Nathan, where the problems are bigger, and you're going to have some difficult conversations with your kids, and it's hard. Same thing with adults. We don't like to have difficult conversations, but if you're going to be a parent, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a productive member of society, at some point you have got to step into difficult conversations. So understand that we all feel that way, but some of us have gotten the experience and realize it's okay, and you're going to be all right. And by the way, you can handle yourself with total class and somebody still be mad at you. You can't control. So, quitting a job without stress requires a plan, and I know it stresses you people out. So here we go. This is time to take notes because this is good stuff. Number one, here's how you quit with class and without stress. Or let's put it this way. I can't guarantee that you won't have stress, but I will tell you that this plan will allow you to minimize your stress. Number one, make sure that you are stepping into the known. You know what the next role is. This makes this conversation a whole lot easier when you go, gosh, this is such a good move for me. It's going to suck over here, but I'm willing to work out hard to look good in my bathing suit, right? It's the idea of embracing, hey, I'm willing to eat broccoli for 8 days straight in order to look good in the suit for my daughter's wedding, or whatever it is. We embrace this all the time. It's the same thing here. Hey, I'm going over here to something great, but part of going into something great is embracing the suck. Number two, tell your leader. Don't tell your coworkers first. Tell your leader first. Be very clear where you're going, why you're going, when you're going. Be firm. Don't let them try to talk you out of it. And be thankful. Number three, help your team, your coworkers with the transition. Now that you told the boss it's out there, what can you do even before you tell the boss, where you set things up to where it's going to be a good and easy transition for your coworkers who are going to be left behind? And then number four, follow up with the formal resignation letter after you talk to your leader. Do cross the T's, dot the I's rather. And now you've made the decision. Now, if you want more on this, we wrote a great article called How to Quit Your Job Professionally. You can get this article at kencoleman.com. But hey, if you want to move forward, you're going to have to embrace quitting, because there ain't no progress without quitting. Don't move. Coming up, the jobs with the lowest unemployment rates.
You were created to fill a unique role through your work, but it can feel overwhelming to figure out what that is. That's why I created the Get Clear Career Assessment. In just 15 minutes, you'll get customized results that clarify what you do best, the work you love to do, and the results that motivate you. All this helps you discover what you were born to do. And you'll get a list of professional possibilities to help you in your job search. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/assessment.
Wow. My taste buds are exploding, folks. Full disclosure. Amanda brought me in a smoothie during the break. This is all kinds of goodness right here. Look at that. spinach, bananas, who knows what else. What did you say was in this? Chia seed, or what, am I saying that wrong? Chia seeds. Oh, I feel smarter already. Look at Ken, he's having his chia seed smoothie. Oh, boy. All right, jobs with the lowest unemployment rate. Sometimes, folks, I just like you to see what's going on behind the scenes. What really happened was I took a swig of that, Alex, right before I came back. My mouth is still exploding. It's fantastic. So there you go. Hazards of live broadcasting. Okay, Investopedia.com's got an article here, and I want to focus on this. This is very fascinating stuff. Jobs with the lowest unemployment rates. Specifically, industries is how we should have said this, not jobs per se. But this is information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the unemployment rate in these industries. Okay. First is professional occupations. So that's your white collar stuff. Low unemployment rate. That's your corporate professional workers. 3.5%. It's the lowest one on the list. Next is management. Oh, there you go. We got it up on the screen. Look at Nathan. He's great. Guy's solid, man. For a Viking fan, he's really on top of things. Oh, there it went away as soon as I made that. See how powerful he is? One joke, and he pulled it. There, look at him, folks. He's very powerful. Management, business, and financial operations, 3.9%. Installation, maintenance, and repair occupations, 5.6% unemployment rate. Honestly, I'm surprised it's that high. You know, when I call for something done around the house these days, can't get it done. By the way, Joe, I need to get a quote for for you to come chop one of my trees down.
Can do.
Office and administrative support, 5.8% unemployment. Sales and related occupations, 6.3%. Production occupations, 6.7%. Construction and extraction operations, 8.0%. So 8.8%. So those are the industries with the highest, the lowest unemployment rates. So really, really good areas there. Now, next, I'm going to share this from the same article, occupations with the highest projected growth rate. So where are the jobs going? And this is where I am your Paul Revere, warning you, preparing you for the future. You will see a pattern here shortly. Number one, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity experts and information security analysts, they're the ones that are protecting all of the data. Company data, your data. And so they are on high alert. You know, the new warfare, I believe, will be hackers. I will tell you, I'm a little bit nervous, Alex. I try not to be the old guy, you know, because I was hanging around my parents this weekend. I went to Virginia for a wedding. And, you know, the older we get, I'm noticing, the more fearful we get. You know, you're just afraid of everything. I am fearful of this hacker world. It's crazy. But cybersecurity is big. BethelTech.net, who I endorse. They got a 9-month program online, very affordable. They're in the cybersecurity business. The transition is a lot easier than you think, and baby, the money is good, and it will grow. Accountant, another hot area. And this isn't just, you know, auditing and preparing financial statements. It's also tax filing. Employment for accountants is expected to grow by 4% from now through 2029. I meant to say this. Listen to this. Back to cybersecurity and security analysts. Employment for these positions is expected to grow by 31% between now and 2029. That is crazy high, but not surprising. Next, registered nurse. Employment growth expected to be 7% from now till 2029. Software developer. Again, Bethel Tech. You can get trained from nothing to rock star in software development. They can train you. They're expecting employment growth to be 22% over the next 6 years. Medical and health services manager, employment growth of 32%. Whoa! That's higher than cybersecurity and information systems analysts and all that kind of stuff. Why? Aging population. Boomers are getting older, folks. My parents are boomers, and they're in their early 70s. You got Gen X. The oldest Gen X are sniffing 60. Uh-oh. You're going to need a lot of health services. Industrial engineer, expected to grow 10% over the next 6 years. Computer systems analyst, expected to grow 7% over the next 6 years. Again, Bethel Tech would be a great source, betheltech.net. Tell them I sent you. They give you a discount. Web developer, Bethel Tech, 8% growth over the next 6 years. Financial manager, 15% over the next 6 years. Occupational and physical therapy assistant, going to grow by 29%. You know why? Because Joe's going to need help with the walker. That's why. Not now, Joe. Not now, Joe. Not now. But you're part of that deal. You're the youngest of the boomers. Haven't we discussed this before? You are like the youngest boomer.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hey, you walk wonderfully now, but at some point we're all going to need the tennis balls on the walker. This is not something. There's no free lunch. It's not a Joe thing. You know. So there you go. Because look at you now. You're the picture of health. Eventually, he's going to need some help. That's why that field's going to explode. Very interesting. So here's a quick little thing here. If you love caretaking, take the Get Clear career assessment. And if you score high on the people talents and you've got the passion of caretaking, it's one of the actual passions in the assessment. These fields, medical and health services manager, registered nurse, occupational and physical therapy assistant or aide, it's all in that space. It's fantastic, fantastic market. Okay, next. I love this report. Alex knows to bring me this kind of red meat to get me excited. NBC News article. Here's the headline. I can't wait to rip this apart. Let's do it. USC's alarming decline in the number of high school graduates going to college. As many ask, is it worth it? Yes, we've been asking the question here on the Ken Coleman Show on a regular basis. Two-part question to figure out if it's worth it. Is it the only way to get qualified to do what you want to do? Second part, if it's not the only way, is it the best way? I mean, clear leader, best way. That's how you determine, is it worth it? And even then, it's not worth it if you go into debt for it, because it's going to end up being a millstone around your neck. This reporter, John Marcus, says, a little understood backlash against higher education is driving an unprecedented decline in enrollment. It's not little understood. Everybody understands why there's a backlash. John, listen to my show. John, call into the show. Let's get this NBC reporter on the line. I'll set him straight. Little understood backlash. There. By the way, I'll get to the, if you think it's a little understood, I'll explain in a second. But there are 4 million fewer students in college right now than there were 10 years ago. Huge dip. And while the pandemic did cause things to turn down, it was already in a pattern of downturn. Why? It costs way too much. And the kids and the parents are looking at the ROI and going, I want to spend this much money and this much time to not get ahead. People aren't idiots, folks. Don't move. More of the Ken Coleman Show coming up.
Did you know that just like a product, you have a personal brand? It's the image or impression others form about you based on your interactions. And whether we realize it or not, our personal brand impacts opportunities to grow in our careers. That's why our team created the Personal Brand Survey. It's free, and it will give you personal and professional feedback so you can own your strengths and uncover any blind spots holding you back. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/brand.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. So excited that you are with us. So I got a great story for you, a feel-good story. Don't you need a feel-good story from time to time? So, I didn't know this, but apparently letter carriers, what we now know as mailmen or mail women, dates all the way back to 425 BC. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I was fascinated to learn this. And this goes back to the Greek historian Herodotus, who is said to have written this about postal couriers in the Persian Wars. Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds, right? So there you go. Your beloved mailman, when it's 6 feet deep of snow, does he actually make it out? I don't know. But it goes a long way back. So let's go now to Oklahoma City for this good news, this heartwarming story. For 70 years, a guy by the name of Johnny Bell has taken that Herodotus quote to heart. Just last week, Bell was celebrated as the longest tenured post office employee in the United States. This is just something I do because I enjoy doing it, Bell told the TV station KOCO in Oklahoma City. Now he's a great-grandfather. Bell was 23 years old when he began working at the post office after serving in the Navy. There he is. For those that are watching, boy, what a wonderful picture that is. The guy's happy. Look at the guy. Great head of hair, by the way. Love that. Okay, now this is fun. Back then, a stamp was 3 cents. 3 cents. Anybody in the control room besides Alex who has the data in front of him? Anybody want to care to take a guess? Amanda, Nathan, Joe, this is only for you, as to what a stamp costs these days. You could have held a gun to my head and I wouldn't have come close.
I think it's around 55 or 60.
Amanda's answer is 55 to 60 cents. Joe?
50.
50, and Nathan. He doesn't even know what a stamp is. Let's be honest. You're young. That's not an insult to your intelligence. Do you know what a stamp is? All right. What does he say, Alex? What's his? I couldn't hear him.
He said yes. Yes, he knows what it is.
I know he knows what it is. What is his guess as to how much a stamp?
67 cents.
67 cents. All right. Amanda's our winner at 60. 60 cents for a stamp. The last known price of a stamp for me was maybe like 20 cents. I think the last time I even heard somebody talk about a stamp. 60 cents. And I could send an email. Yeah. That's a fun story. Here's the key takeaway, why we shared that. Dude's been doing it a long, long time. Why does he do it? He enjoys it. That's simple. Something about the route, something about delivering important stuff, something about seeing people and getting to know them. He becomes a part of their life. Hey, Johnny's here with the mail. Johnny! You know, I mean, it's a people-focused type work. Something to be learned there. Okay. In my hands. I did a post recently on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull that up. On office jargon. And Alex, it went bananas. Yeah, here it is. Oh boy. There it is. Synergy, circle back, bandwidth, low-hanging fruit, touch base. Yeah, how about that? Any of those drive you nuts? Yeah. So here are a few more. And by the way, if you want to submit these, we'll have some more fun with this. So you ask at kencoleman.com. So here are a few more, and then I'm going to share some Ramsey solutions jargon that is overused. And I'll let the team, if you all need to get something off your chest, this is your moment as well. And we'll just we'll tell the team it was Ken's idea. Okay, here's some overused jargon. We found some surveys online. The new normal. Oh, yeah. New normal. The media wore that one out. Politicians during the pandemic and post-pandemic wore the new normal out. Here's another one. Let's take this offline. That drives me nuts because we're not online. I'm looking at you. You just said you want to take this offline. I get that one. Wait, what? Just say, hey, can we talk about this later? No, we got to say, let's take this offline. I didn't know we were streaming. Are we streaming online? I didn't know that. I thought we were in a meeting. Oh yeah, this one was big during the pandemic, right? Unprecedented. Everybody was talking about we're in unprecedented times. By the way, we were. But it only takes about 48 hours for a word to get beat to death. Unprecedented. Very interesting. Now, how about this one? This word is the new Kleenex. See, Kleenex is a brand of tissues. I believe they call them facial tissues. But Kleenex was like the first to market or the first something. And so everybody's like, hey, hand me a Kleenex, which is brilliant. It's like saying, hey, go Xerox this. Well, Xerox was the name of the copier. Well, Zoom has now joined that pantheon of brands that are now synonymous with the thing. So we'll say, hey, let's do a Zoom. When what we're really doing is we're doing a video conference. But hey, let's Zoom. Let's jump on a Zoom. Well, no, we're not jumping on a Zoom. We're jumping on a video conference call, but everything is Zoom this, Zoom that. And then here's another one that falls in line with the new normal, unprecedented times. We need to pivot. Now, I regret this because I like to say pivot. It's a good word. It is a functional word in the type of advice I give. But Alex is a good point. It's been overused. Well, you need to pivot. You need to pivot. Well, at some point, you need to shoot the daggone ball, right? If we're using the true basketball analogy. Okay, so I'm going to move to. So I decided to come up with my own list of pet peeve phrases that we use at Ramsey Solutions. You're looking at Nathan with a big smile on your face. It makes me very nervous about what's about to happen. Because it occurs to me you all could come up with a list of things I say every day that you all get irritated with. Is that what's happening? I can handle it. Okay, here's a couple things we say at Ramsey. It feels like everybody says it, and it's overused. One is white space. Now, I don't know if you people out there know what that is. And I don't even know where it comes from, honestly. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do something really quick. I'm not even sure if I type in white space on the intraweb, if there's an actual definition for it. Maybe there is. This is going to be really refreshing. Let's see what happens. We're not talking about white noise. We're talking about white space. What is meant by white space? The areas of a page without print or pictures. Yeah. What is white space in life? Where we have time to pause and reflect or go for a walk or just breathe. So we're using it wrong, Alex. So I can't wait for our next meeting. I'm going to expose this. This is very exciting. So we use it at Ramsey Solution. We say, we got to get out to white space. That means people that are outside of Ramsey Solution tribe, right? So people that aren't regular watchers or viewers of whether it's the Ramsey show or my show or any of the other personality shows. That's what we call white space. Well, they don't know about Ken yet. Well, that's the whole freaking world. We call it white space. I don't even know what it means. It doesn't mean what we say it means. All right, next. This one drives me crazy. People say, I'm just gonna say this out loud. Let's just say it out loud. Well, you just said it out loud. When you say it out loud, what does that mean? Because when I say anything, it's out loud. If I think something, well, I'm thinking something. But if I say something, have you heard this? Have anybody said that in this meeting? I'm just going to say this out loud. As opposed to saying it silently? Drives me crazy. All right, I took up all the time. You guys can tell me your pet peeves later. There it is, folks. Don't use office jargon. Mix it up a little bit. It'll help your personal brand. All right, it's time for some coaching calls coming up.
If the thought of attending a networking event makes you break out in hives, you're not alone. And I'll let you in on a secret. networking in the traditional sense doesn't work. But genuine connection is all about relationships. That's why we created Networking the Right Way. This free guide is the low-pressure, high-impact way to overcome the awkwardness, build real relationships, and turn your connections into opportunities. To get the guide, go to kencoleman.com/network.
All right, folks, welcome back. It's time to coach some people up. Laura's going to start us off at Tacoma, Washington. Laura, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, this is Laura. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing. This is completely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. So what's going on with you today?
I am struggling with my resume. I have made my resume, followed your template, and I have 0 picks.
Uh-oh.
Literally 0.
Uh-oh. Well, I want to know how you're submitting the resume. Is it all online, and are you getting it through to real people? What's the submission process been like?
So it is all online. I don't have much connections, and I'm over my 40, and I just changed my career. And not much connections, and I don't know anyone in the field.
What did you just change from to? So what were you doing and what are you now doing?
I came from business background. I used to own a construction business.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to step away from all that, and I'm switching to a completely new business, and I went to school for aesthetics.
What business are you trying to get into?
Yes, completely new. And it's been a little hard because I'm not in my 20s, I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, but hold on a second. How old are you?
Over 40.
Yeah, I know. So am I. What are you ashamed of?
I'm not. It's really hard. So what happened
no, but
after
listen,
I graduated.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old you are if you're in your 40s. It just doesn't. I'm just trying to challenge you right now that the reason you're not getting noticed has nothing to do with your age. It just doesn't. What business are you in? You said aesthetics. What does that mean? Or what business do you want? Okay, so are you currently employed in the skincare world?
No, I graduated right after COVID.
And so have you been employed this entire time or unemployed?
So I was employed back in my old job doing bookkeeping, accounting, and like project management for a construction company.
Good for you. So are you looking to be an esthetician or is it something else? Okay.
Yeah, master esthetician, yep.
Yeah, so you're applying online to local.
Correct.
In the Tacoma, Washington area. There are some places that are opening. They have openings and they want to hire an esthetician, and you've applied online.
Yes.
Okay. Of course you're getting nothing. That is a high-touch business. Literally, it is all about touch. But it is also extremely personal, and you're not hiring an esthetician based on their resume. It's gonna be all interview because it's such a customer-facing job. Is that do you think that holds true? What I'm saying? Okay,
yep.
So you not knowing any estheticians is not acceptable. You need to go meet you some estheticians. And I just wonder how many girlfriends or family members you have that use an esthetician, that get a facial on a regular basis. How many people would you say is on that list? Even
they all
acquaintances.
come to me. That's the thing. They all come to me, and I do it at home. But I actually want to go out there and then
where did they go?
A real job.
Okay, listen, Laura, I love you, and it's because I love you. I'm going to push you. You just threw an excuse at me. Where did they go before they came to you?
I don't know. Good question.
I know. It's what I do. I'm so good at it. So seriously, they know they went to somebody before they came to you. So they know somebody that knows somebody over there, right? They just do.
True.
And I'm telling you, Laura, you're qualified. And you've been doing this at home for how many women?
I have about 30 people.
30 people! What if you got in touch with, now listen, no more online resumes, but what if you actually talk to somebody who owns a local, what do you call it, a studio?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to it. Watch. Thank you, Amanda. Spa. Let's say you talk to a local spa owner and you say, hey, listen, I got qualified back in 2020 and I love this. I used to help run a construction company. I don't want to run a business. I love taking care of women and their faces. And so I've not been able to cut through because I don't know many people in this business. And you ready for this? I've got 30 clients that come to my house right now. I'm willing to bring them with me. You know what she's going to say?
That's a great idea.
I know it's a great idea. And she's going to go, can you start tomorrow? You're going to bring 30 clients with you. That'd be the resume that I would submit. I just type this out. Hi, I'm qualified. I've been working from home and I have 30 clients and I don't want to work for me. I want to work for you. If you hire me, you get 30 happy people. I wouldn't even submit a resume. I just fax that to everybody. Does anybody do that anymore?
So you just landed the new job. Congratulations. You've made it past the interviews and now it's time to onboard with excellence. That's why I created How to Stand Out at Your New Job. This free checklist will help you succeed from day one and may even help you get promoted. These practical steps set you up to add value, help your team win, exceed your leader's expectations, and ultimately set you up for a successful transition. To get started, just go to kencoleman.com/new.
All right, folks, the coaching continues here on the Ken Coleman Show. So excited that you're with us. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. Let's go to Jennifer in Phoenix, Arizona. Jennifer, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, thanks for having me. How are you?
I am living the dream, Jennifer. What's up?
Good. Okay. So I've been a sales manager for over 20 years in retail, and I was furloughed from my job that I had for 8 years in 2020 for obvious reasons what was going on. And then I went to find a job as a general manager in a wellness franchise, which I really enjoyed, but I took almost like a $30,000 pay cut to do that.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, a couple of my friends who, I managed and worked for me in the past, were trying to get me to work with them at their job. And they were telling me, how much free time they had. They weren't stuck in a store for 10 hours a day. This year, one of my friends told me that by May, for the first 6 months of the year, with her salary and bonus, she was making more than I would for the whole entire year.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. So I think my ego was getting to me, felt kind of like a loser. The people I was managed were now making more than me while working less hours.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awful. It's absolutely awful. Talk about just a shot to the gut, into the heart, into the head. My goodness.
Yeah. But, working in retail, you're a slave to that schedule. There's nights and weekends and holidays, and it takes so much out of you.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a step down as a general manager into design consultant position.
Okay.
When I did that, the franchise owners, they reached out to me. I tried to get promoted, and I didn't get it, which, was fine.
Yeah.
They wanted me to stay. His reasoning was, there's so much growth. It's just not happening in the time frame that you want.
Okay.
But, again, my ego, I was like, if I don't go, I'm always going to remain the person who just stays in the job because they're comfortable.
Well, not to mention you resent some of your coworkers and people that you lead, and it's not healthy. They're making more than you, and you shouldn't have known that information. If I heard you correctly, that's just a poisonous brew that you'd be swimming in every day. Am I right?
No, this is my friends who worked at a different job. They were trying to get me to go with them in my job.
So they were okay. I'm sorry. So it wasn't where the place where you worked. It was outside of that, and they were painting a prettier picture, and you said, I want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I misunderstood. Now I'm caught up. Okay, so how can I help?
I took the leap. I took a step down.
Yeah.
My manager is, I don't like saying people are bad, but he really is not a good manager.
Yeah.
I can't stand what I do. I don't love it.
So we got to leave.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating your question. What do I do? You want to go back?
I want a boomerang. I've never boomeranged before, but I want to think through and make sure.
Well, now wait a second. What would change because you weren't super happy there? So what would change, or in other words, what would have to change for the boomerang to make sense to me?
Well, I graduated college with like advertising and art and design. That was what I did. But then I also wanted to be a personal trainer. So there was like this health lifestyle that I absolutely love. And then there was like the art side of me. So I enjoyed the job that I was working at, but I was like, you know what? I can make more money. I have a car. I don't have to pay for gas. There's like all these great things in this job.
Okay.
I just, it's not me. But
what's not you?
This new job.
I know that. We're not talking about the new job. Yeah. I'm all for you leaving the new job. What I'm trying to make sure of, you called me and you basically want my opinion on should you boomerang.
Yeah, okay. I love what I did. I love the clientele.
I know. You did. You loved all that, but you also left because you didn't feel like you were going to be able to advance.
Yeah.
Okay, so how will that be dealt with? Because that's going to stick its ugly head up again. Right now, it's not top of mind because you're miserable.
Yeah.
But let's say we take you back to comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, you were starting, and I don't want to use the word miserable, but you were starting to get, let's at least say, uncomfortable with your comfortable, right?
Yeah. Well, again, it was a small staff. So it was like let's say I didn't feel well, it's like, could clients come in the building? Can somebody cover my shift? It's in my job now. If I didn't show up to work, it's like no big deal. I don't have to be.
That's what I'm
really.
getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So you're saying, Ken, should I go back to what I knew? And I don't know the answer. I'm a little bit concerned that you're going to retreat back to safety and what is known, but you're not going to be able to solve the problems. You just brought up two things. Well, you never really answered my, well, what about advancing? That's going to pop up again. You never really resolved that with me. And then you said, yeah, it's a small place, so I may have to work crazy hours because there's no way. So you're going to go back to that? I almost want, I want you to explore finding what you were doing at the past company somewhere else. So instead of boomeranging, I'd like us to upgrade. So instead of boomeranging, how about we're upgrading? Same kind of work, because you loved it, but better environment. Yeah. Better environment where you're valued more and you got an opportunity to grow, because I think you want to grow. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay then.
Absolutely.
And I'm asking you, do you think you would have an opportunity to grow if you went back to where you were? Based on history.
Yeah, I was only there for 10 months, and we got new franchise owners, and they were growing. They're opening up new stores.
Have you talked to them? Have you talked to them about having you back? Has that happened yet?
No, because this whole weekend was like, I'm just going to call them, and I was like, no, you know what? Get a professional opinion. Stop writing on your emotions.
Yeah.
Think it through. And so I was really waiting to talk to you.
I've had no problem.
Someone of reason.
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't have a problem with you talking to them and say, hey, you know what? Here's the real. I left. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. But understand that you're going to put yourself back in a situation where you're not 100% sure. It doesn't even sound like you're 50% sure if this is a long-term play for you. It feels like the old school days when we played freeze tag. Did you ever play that silly game when you were a kid? You remember the person who was closing in on you, and your heart was racing, and you're just running as fast as you can get back to base where you could rest, catch your breath, and figure out your next step. That's what this feels like. But that's going to delay the inevitable. It's not freeze tag. This is your life.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
You can handle where you are a little bit longer, at least long enough to maybe find not home base and a place of safety, but a really healthy place where you can grow. And that's
Yeah.
my challenge. I'm not going to tell you that it's wrong to go back. It's your decision. But I don't like your motives right now. The only reason you're thinking about them is because of the whole freeze tag analogy. And you're freaking out because you hate where you are. You need a paycheck. And you're going, well, I thought the grass was greener. It's not.
No.
And by the way, you're part of 26% of Americans. Alex, here's one right here. We talked about this last week. 26% of Americans regret leaving their job. So if it is a good place to go back, go. Have a conversation with them and say, look, I'm willing to come back. I want to come back. If you'll have me, I just want to know that I'm having an opportunity eventually to grow. And I learned my lesson. I'll stick it out. If that's what you think is right for you. But if you're not 100% sure, before you have that conversation with them, I'd start talking to some other people and see if there's an opportunity for growth there. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. And by the way, Jennifer, why not go to ZipRecruiter.com? I talk about them every day. Why not go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken? See what they got. They may not have those kind of gigs. I don't know. For the rest of you, if you're looking for something, you're freaking out, don't freak out. Sign up at ZipRecruiter.com. They're your recruiter. You get to live your life, do your thing. You don't have to stress out. They're out there recruiting for you. They'll send you opportunities where say, this company wants to interview you. The reason a company contacts you is because Zip is getting paid by them to filter talent. You don't pay a dime. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Jennifer, don't you dare settle. Look before you leap. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.
Thanks for listening to the Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.